tell me about yourself. Where were you born and raised?
Born right here in Seattle, Washington, South Seattle. Came from two-parent home. Two parents, both parents, one graduated high school, my mother. My dad had a third grade education when he came here from Mississippi. He tells me this all the time. But he retired from Boeing's as a supervisor of his unit, you know. He told me, Brian, when I got hired, that was during the time when it didn't matter what you knew, you could meet a man and feel him right there. But now, Brian, it's a time where you could be the smartest man in the world. If you have a paper to show it, it don't mean nothing. So, luckily he got on at that time. He said he had his niece help him fill out the application because he could barely read it back in the 80s. Young. And luckily he worked hard, and you know, I came up under that, luckily.
Any siblings?
I have siblings, but my parents had me in the late stages of life.
Okay.
Like I told you, my dad retired when I was in 8th grade.
Right over there, yeah.
My brother, that was the youngest over me, he's 15 years older than me. So when I was 3, he left in the Navy. My other siblings, half brothers and sisters, are old enough to be my parents. I got nieces and nephews older than me. So there's kind of a lot break there. You know? So it's just really me.
Well, so when you were growing up with mom and dad, did it feel like you were the only child, kind of?
I felt like I was the only child in a situation where I wasn't parented in a lot of ways because they didn't keep, how can I say this? Like, I don't want to say they weren't good parents. They didn't try the best that they knew how. But the timing was different. My brother says to this day, he feels like he should have took it when he got established and had a family. They had that conversation, I didn't even know. Oh,
so he saw something?
Yeah.
Interesting.
When it started getting kind of like teenage years.
Well, I'm curious, what do you think he saw?
He saw that they were older, they were ready to be retired in their golden years, going out and taking trips and, you know, not, you know, having a rowdy teenager in this day and age in the early 2000s, growing up, you know, and me, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I was a lot kind of advanced like in a lot of ways. I caught really quickly. My mom says, she says, you have this thing called Brian's logic. And my whole family knows about it, that if I say, look at the logic in this, back when I was a kid, it was a telltale sign on the con you. I'm going to get my way. I'm going to come up with a way to get what I want out of you, because you don't even know probably what I'm talking about anyway. It's going to make you feel like you know what I'm talking about. So, and if you don't give me what I want, you're going to say that you don't know anything, like ignorant. It's a con I learned early at a young age. I wish I didn't, but that's what I learned.
Well, I mean, you're admitting you learned, and I don't know why, to manipulate somehow, but why?
Because at the same time, everybody was really standoffish and skeptical because they didn't understand. They didn't understand when we had computers and stuff, they didn't trust that stuff like that. Like, okay, say, you know, remember America Online? Stuff like that. Could you imagine a kid, 6th grade, got a computer in his own room with full American Online hookup? That was me. Probably wasn't the smartest thing. A year later, I didn't have that no more because the things I could do on it, you know. But they didn't know. But my dad said he knew that I needed that stuff. He didn't understand it.
Right.
He knew that I needed it.
Just because of the generation gaps.
At the time, the
generation gaps, right?
Exactly.
Well, so when you were in high school, did you, I don't know if you use the term rowdy? I don't know.
In high school,
what was happening in high school?
In high school, I made a bad step. So my dad tried to shelter me from my cousins all the time. I never understood. Okay, so in 85, I was born in 85, there was 8 boys born into my family. Different, whatever. We're all the same age.
Like cousins? Cousins.
Grew up, you know what I'm saying? We had families together, playing each other, wrestling and stuff. That's my cousin. I didn't understand why I couldn't go stay at their house and have sleepovers or not. I never understood why I wasn't as close to them outside of that. Came to find out, you know, that in their generation, it was, okay, so their parents was in the crack era of 90s and stuff like that. You know, they came up in that era. So I didn't know nothing about that. I was sheltered from all of this.
So the uncles and
stuff had packed stuff going on, and you know, in front of family, we gonna put on our best show, right? But you know, I'm a kid, I don't know no better, you know. And they're trained at a young age to not even talk about that stuff. You don't talk about none of that that happens at home. Keep that separate, especially around people we don't need to talk about it with. They're at a young age taught that. So I didn't know all that, and so, but Seattle's a small place.
So yeah, as
time happened in 8th grade,
that's right. There you go.
I came across one of my cousins on the bus. Hey! Now I'm in 8th grade. We're feeling a little ourselves. And now I'm getting a little bit of a freeway to go take myself to school and take my own time.
Independence,
home,
puberty,
you know
just
stop by the community center when I want to.
Yeah.
So hey, I got ways to get around. Hey, so how are you doing? I'm going to go hang out with your cousins. You guys all hang out together? Yeah, well, why not me?
Yeah.
We thought about it, and I didn't understand why he was kind of reluctant. He said, all right, come on, let's go. My cousins are all gangbangers at a young age. They started a hood here called Deuce South Jackson. Now this is what something they started. You gotta know this history about it. This is something they started to protect themselves. Like their older brother started it. When they were at Garfield dances, doing the bopping and stuff like that, that was when the California gangbangers were moving up here, running for murders and stuff like that, coming up here. And they were robbing them, and they catch them coming outside the community center and beating them up. So we had to come together as a group to protect ourselves.
Right.
This is something probably a lot of people don't know, but I'm going to get it totally real. So that's why in the Central District of Seattle, we had gangs start coming, the black community gangs. In the South End, it was already there. But in the Central District, we never was about that. You hear about my posse on Broadway. It was people used to have dance battles outside of Dick's. Real talk.
Yeah, I believe it.
That's what Mix-a-Lot was talking about. You hear this?
I got about 10 years on you, so I get that.
So that's what was going on. But then they wonder why right up the street was this all going on right before the gentrification happened. You know, it was really rowdy and dangerous.
Well, it
changed.
That's interesting to me. That it's like this community banded together and said we got to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
And started this. It's labeled as a gang.
It was just a group of boys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All from the same neighborhood.
That's right.
They were trying to protect themselves from being robbed by these real gangbangers and people that were bad. Known place.
It's like almost out of like necessity.
Seeing because the crack stuff was going on behind closed doors, and seeing a way to try to take over a neighborhood and do it the way that they were used to from where they came from.
Yeah.
So what you gotta do, you gotta break down this, you gotta break down that. You know what I'm saying? The people that don't care about the neighborhood, we gotta take them out and stuff like that. So that's what they did. I learned about all this as that went on. Now when I came on the scene, it was a newer generation, the young, rowdy teenagers now. The next generation. You got kids that are calling us those OGs, but they're probably 18 years old at the time. Our older brothers and older cousins. They're not little role models at the time. They're just coming into their own manhood. They're trying to make money and stuff. They did some things that probably put them in a situation that they have to do things that they're not willing to do, to take care of things. They got babies now and stuff on the way. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. It's a decision that they made, but it was a decision that was kind of given because people didn't know what was going on in our community. So, at the same time, now we got us coming up. Us, I say my cousins and stuff. These kids that came up under broken homes, they've got a lot of anger. They don't understand. You're telling them they're no good. You're telling them that you ain't gonna end up being anything. Or you might not be even telling them nothing. You might just be letting them go to juvenile, in and out, juvenile, slaps on the wrist, tell them they're not gonna have an adult record, but it does become an adult record later. We didn't know about that. Didn't know that we could go to trial. When I went to juvenile the first time, they just told me that that's what was going on. I didn't know about fighting or anything. Any charge that I got, they just told me, well, this is what you're gonna have to sign to, and here you go. I swear to God, I was never told anything. My first felony was given to me because I got into an altercation with my father. I stepped to him at the first time in my life, because now I'm feeling like, and he shut me down. And so I was hurt. My feelings were hurt. And so I yelled. I don't care. You know what? I'm gonna shoot you like somebody in the street. I'm gonna kill you. I didn't mean it. I was venting. The neighbors heard it. The police came. Because when they told the police what happened. In this state, in a domestic violence situation, all you need is one witness to hear it and say it, and it doesn't matter who says what, someone's going to jail.
And
I got taken to jail for a felony harassment.
How old were you?
My parents begged them not to take me. Said, that's my son. We just had an misunderstanding. You don't need to take him.
How old were you?
13 years old. Never been in trouble in my life.
That's a child.
A child.
You're a child.
They went to the juvenile detention center and told them, we don't want no charges. They said there's nothing you can do about it at this time. It's already taken. They had already had me signed too to get out. Saying your parents will come pick you up if you sign to the felony.
And how were you feeling, that 13-year-old kid?
Scared to death. Because I had heard stories about the juvenile, like it was the penitentiary.
Sure.
When I got to the juvenile, it was more like a community center, a rec center. It was breeding us to get used to this. We had video games, skating parties. They told us we're going to class, math class. I'm listening to gangster rap music on my headphones.
How long did you stay in there?
At the first time, maybe a day or two. Then the second time, more runaways. Now I'm staying there for a week and stuff. Now they heard of it, put me on the thing that took me out of my parents' hands called Youth at Risk. My parents never asked for this, but they said, they came out and said, well, we have an option to try to save your son. He had been running away a lot, acting out a lot. They didn't know how to deal with me. Yeah. They said, well, we can take care of it. We can make it so he don't run away no more. We'll put power back in your hands to take care of it, make sure. What's the power? You call us and we'll lock him up. He doesn't have to commit a crime. All he has to do is not come home. We'll put him in jail for a week. But they didn't know that they were signing to give me this award to the state.
They signed away their rights as parents?
As parents, in a way, like, okay, so when it was time for me to go home, the counselor didn't feel I should go home. So they took me to a foster home. But what is he doing at a damn foster group home? He has a home. But that's not working. All this is going on, and I don't even understand why. I understand that I've done some things that may be wrong, to understand, but it's teenager stuff. Teenager stuff! I guarantee you guys to this day have teenagers that's doing the same thing, jumping out the window to go to the dance, stuff like that.
Yeah, it makes me immediately think, you're in what part of town?
South Seattle.
You're a black man.
Black man in that community at the time.
Yes, in that community. Do you think if it was a white kid in North Seattle?
Yeah, North Seattle, the little Everett, the juvenile up in Everett, or maybe they had a juvenile on the east side in Bellevue or something. You know, like that, it wouldn't have happened. I bet you there's kids that get in trouble in Bellevue that should go to the juvenile, but their parents get there at first with some calls and call the right people, and they never even see it. I guess, yeah. But I'm not trying to say that I'm bitter about that. That's just the way it is.
Yes, well, exactly. That's just the way it is.
That's the way it is.
And it's a built-in system.
A built-up system
that has been there, and it's just the way it is.
It's the way it is, and we need to do something about that. We need to understand what was really going on.
Right. And so you're in and out of juvie.
And at the time, when I was in 8th grade, I was an honor roll student. I was a band member. I played the orchestra. I played the trumpet all my life. In 8th grade, I was in a program called ASOP. It was for advanced kids through the UW. It was an after-school tutoring program. If I did it through high school, I had a quarter-ride scholarship at that time. But at the same time, I'm being told that I should be being put now into special ed, and all that should be taken away and stuff, because Brian's not doing his homework, he's not doing anything. His test scores are off the charts, but he's not doing homework, he's not doing this, he's telling this and the other. Okay, so there's an issue here. What's the issue? Now, what I didn't understand at the time when I was a kid, and I'm going to talk to a lot of parents, they might not know what's going on with your kids, that they're making decisions that don't make sense, that don't make sense to coincide with what you've taught them or going on. And I'm going to admit this. I didn't know at the time. I had ADHD, ADD. And I know that was popped around at the time, and they were popping us on Ritalin and stuff like that. But at the time, the way they did it, it made me feel like I didn't like to get made fun of as a child. You say we're resilient, but you got a whole school calling you the pill boy and this and the other. They make a circus ring out of it. It's time for you to get your pills, Brian. You gotta go to the nurse get your pills. Ah! I don't want to take them.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why I need them.
Right.
I'm too young to even understand that I'm making a choice. I'm just thinking I'm just a kid.
Yeah.
So, and then later stages in life, I still don't understand that now it's gotten to a point where I'm making impulsive decisions and stuff, and that's a characteristic of it. You know, impulsive decisions that make no sense. I should go to school. I like going to school. I'm good at it, but I decided to go do this, go skip. Never been in trouble before, never even had a reason to skip. I've never met my cousin before. All of a sudden, but I go with these bad kids to go to the mall because they didn't think, because I'm making these decisions. And at that time, I told my parents gave up on that fight about you need to be on medication. I said, you do that to me, and I'm not going to school. And I really made a stand.
What year was that?
When I said I wasn't going to go to school, it was 6th grade.
6th grade?
6th grade, because it was like, that was when it was important to me, my reputation.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a social awareness, and you can start. It's just like
in grade school, I went through it so tough the way they made fun of me. I said, no way, I'm not going to middle school like this.
Yeah.
And have them treat me like that again.
Right.
And be a social pariah or something.
So you just
flat out, no. They could have handled it different. I think they might handle it different these days. They probably don't put the kids on blast about taking their pills or anything. I hope. You know? I hope they don't.
And so
they got extended release capsules. I know they came a long time now, so you can take one in the morning.
Yeah, it's a lot different. It is a lot different. So in 6th grade, you stopped going to school.
Yeah, and I was on methamphetamine as a kid.
Well, tell me about that.
I didn't know I was on drugs like that. I do remember noticing that it made me focus, hyper-focus on things.
You were taking Ritalin?
And Adderalls at the same time. Adderalls was for a long day, and the Ritalin was to stable me out. That's just more and more dope. And so, I didn't notice no change in my mood. What I noticed was I would focus on things in a way that I didn't want to be bothered. I become very mean and aggressive.
Change your mood.
I didn't know, but I was having mood swings.
Gotcha.
I didn't want to do homework. I still didn't want to do homework. That's something they could have found. They got creative schools now where the kids don't even have to do paper homework. I heard about it. I wish they had that back then too. But at the same time, I didn't want to do homework and stuff. My test scores are high. I don't need to. That's why I would come back to it. I'm one of the smartest kids in the class. I don't need to do that. When I do the schoolwork in class, and what they do, tell you when you're done with your schoolwork, sit quietly and just wait till the bell rings. How are you going to tell someone with ADHD something like that? That is physically impossible.
Don't move, sit quietly, wait till the bell rings.
Yeah, and don't bother no one around you. But I'm ahead of my class. I'm like so quick. I'm done 45 minutes ahead of time. And you're telling me to sit there and don't do nothing. And at that time, we can't have headphones and walk. We didn't have, at that time, you know, okay, well, do your homework for your other. I don't do homework. I do classwork. That's it.
So you're kind of stuck in this space.
And people didn't understand. And I get it now that I'm older. That I took in time to sit down and really do some.
So did you go to high school?
I went to high school.
Okay. Finish high school?
Yeah, I finished high school, but it got real hanky. Because by that time, I was so off the hook now. Well, everything that I had already went through in such a short time of learning fast, but getting the taste now of not having responsibilities put on me, because I was a teenager now and I could kind of put my shit down. Like, I don't care what you say. Okay. Only class I was going to was lunch and band. Okay. That's all I cared about. That was my school.
And did you find other ways to cope?
Other ways to pass my time. My parents didn't believe in buying me the best and finest flies clothes, things like that. At the time, there was dudes in my neighborhood now at the time that had no problem with finding a young, fast, quick kid that was really good with math and stuff like that and put some dope in his hands and say, here, I can help you make some money. So they took to me quick. One of the biggest dope dealers in my neighborhood. and sometimes took me under the brain. They picked me up in his car every day from downtown. He had a car on switches on low rider, 6'4", you know, like you see Dr. Dre videos and stuff. He was the only one in my neighborhood that had one, a real one, that looked it clean. He'd come, drop me off to high school like that, you know? Fresh clothes and stuff, fresh Jordans and stuff. I felt great.
Yeah, I bet.
My mom found that stuff and she said, boy, I know how you're getting this money. I know how you're getting these clothes. My dad was from a different type of standpoint. He said, well, he's taking care of his own now, Kathy, hold on now. If that's what the boy gonna do, shit. If he gonna give us some money too, I don't know why, but that's just how parents, people are, you know, it was different back then. He wasn't a bad dad or nothing, you know, he hated it. He cried, bawled his tears out when I got all that time. At 15 years old, I got caught with 3.5 ounces of crack cocaine in my locker on a bomb scare day. The dog hit on my locker.
You're in high school.
I'm in high school.
15.
Now mind you, I'm not selling dope to kids or anything. My friend, my big brother said he was leaving town that day. He said whatever I needed, he was going to be gone for about 2 weeks. He gave me double, whatever.
Gotcha.
Here you go. You're doing good. I trust you with it. You're fine. You'll have it. If you need me or anything, call me. Whatever. And he had other people that could come take care of me. Like if I ever got in some trouble or somebody tried to do something to me, he had people.
But they found that. They found that in your locker?
Yeah.
How?
So the bomb scare got called done. We all went back into class. Next thing I know, the administrator, the principal, and the police are at my classroom door talking about Mr. Simmons, can you grab your stuff and come out to class? Your mom is on the way. We need to discuss something. I knew instantly.
So somebody somewhere said Brian, they went and checked your locker somehow.
They didn't even have to say that. I just knew.
But I mean,
just knew. What else could it be?
But what I'm saying is,
and then they headed us to the locker.
That's what I mean.
I asked them. I said, "Well, where are we walking? We need to go to your locker."
And they said, "Open your locker."
Yeah. We need to see what's in your locker.
Gotcha.
Now my mind's racing at this time. What can I do? What can I do? What can I say? What can I do? There's nothing I could do. I had to walk that long walk and walk it. But I'm telling myself, and I started telling myself, look, I don't have a record like that. You know, I had that one thing a while back. I just got a bunch of runaway stuff. Calm down, Brian. Calm down, Brian. You've seen other cats going up from worse than this. You've seen cats, you know, shoot people and stuff, and they're coming home probably about 10 years. Like that, you might do 5 years. That's what I think about that. I started bawling. My knees got weak. So when it was all said and done, I got taken to the juvenile. You know, all these horror stories. And you probably want to go to the adult system, this, that, other. That's what they're telling me to mess with me.
They're intimidating you.
Intimidating me. But it's probably for the best. A little too. So, but finally I get to see my lawyer. What's going on? I'm in there. I mean, I couldn't sleep for the first. I got there over the weekend.
15-year-old kid, of course.
I'm thinking I'm going to penitentiary. All this. I get to my lawyer. First thing he said, please tell me we're not selling crack to kids at school. No. No, flat out no. No, sir. He's like, I didn't think so. They've done an investigation already and asked all your classmates and everything. All of them said they didn't know nothing about it. I never brought that stuff to school. He dropped me off at school because he was leaving town.
Right. So they expelled you, my guess is.
That wasn't my last. I wouldn't even know about that at the time. Of course, I was expelled. Yeah. But at the time, I'm thinking, what's going on with this? They didn't expel me immediately, though. What they did was they let me go to school still every day. They put me on this thing where I had to wake up every morning, go get dressed out, hurry up. My mom would pick me up, take me home, let me change, and go. This is the first time now that they're actually giving me a trial. And since I'm going to trial, I can still go to school. With one slip up, they're going to keep me out and send me somewhere else, so I can't go nowhere. Right? So, because I had a good lawyer, my dad went and paid for a lawyer. The lawyer said, we got to try to save him. We could spin this. He's the victim. So, they said, if you do that to him, you're just going to be perpetuating what's going to be coming next. Your Honor. Okay. This is going to be a long trial. Let's see where we go. He has 2 parents that care about him, a family. He's not been in trouble. He's got grades that are good before. He's running up my good grades before. He's just a failed student that kind of fell down the way. So let's see if it was the school system that failed, then he could play it like that. So, okay, so we got that going. But what happened was the media got a hold of it. They spit it in the newspaper that I might be a young kingpin in training, selling dope to kids in school, and all types of stuff. It was crazy to see how the Times put it all in there. And so now all of a sudden you got these parents calling and stuff saying, why is this kid still being allowed to go to school? Who is he? Is he selling dope to my kid? No, man, nothing like that. We don't want nothing. Okay, big deal. Got a lot of media, whatever coverage for a quick second. I didn't even know how this wildfire happened up under me. I got people at school waiting for me to get there to throw stuff at me and everything.
How does that feel as a 15-year-old kid?
I thought they were taking my joy away. Because I thought I had seen a little bit of hope. Because I told myself, if I get out of this, I'm done. If I get out of this, I'm done. And so I'm going to school thinking, okay.
Get a second chance.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to show them why. And then I'm seeing this. I didn't want to go. I got scared to death. I didn't want to go. And now they got these people, and my friends, my homeboys turned against me, my friends, and the few friends I had in school saying I can't be seen with you. Yeah. Stuff like that. So they took that away and whatever. And at first, but take it away. And what hurt me the most, because the first 2 days, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, before the parents found out, the first 2 days, I was like a god when I got back to that school. They're like, oh, how did you get, what?
Your popularity.
My popularity shot through the roof. And I was like, okay, I'm back in school. I'm cool now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's the guy I intended for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't even like one at first because I was a freshman. When freshman year sucked. You know what I'm saying? As a freshman, sucked.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Getting beat up and stuff. My friends get beat up. And at the time, I had came from up under something that I did. I stood up for myself.
Yeah. Well,
and so that got me into a lot of hot water. But I got told, you better not let them do anything to you. Freshman day, getting beat up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
sucks.
No. Well, when you're a freshman,
when you
see a senior, you're like, oh my gosh,
these guys look like gods. That's humongous. That's a man.
That's right.
That's a grown ass man. And you guys walking with him like it's all cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And if he hits me, it's okay. Nobody's gonna do nothing about it because it's just freshman hazing.
Yeah. But when the media found out, you come back and people are, your friends are
turned against
me. People are throwing stuff at you. Just
parents literally was like, you shouldn't be here picketing me and stuff. That one day it only happened. They all got told, newsletters got sent out that if anybody coming see me harassing a student, they would be arrested immediately.
Gotcha.
Now there's an assembly, an anti-drugs assembly at my school. I didn't want to go. I knew how this was going to run. I got told by the principal, don't worry, this isn't even about you, but we need to address this because it's all over the school. So things need to be addressed. Because you got parents at home hearing secondhand stories from the kids, worried that there's dope in the school now. Are you the only one? Is it a drug ring? These are real concerns. I didn't understand it because that wasn't really what's going on. But it didn't matter how much I cried, that's not the truth. What can I say? So, I messed up eventually. I got where I couldn't go to school no more. I slipped.
And that's
it was too much pressure.
Is that when you stopped going to school?
I stopped going to school. I skipped school that day, and they found out. Of course, they called the juvenile, and they cut it loose.
Yeah.
Worst mistake I made.
Did you ever go back to school? High school? You ever finished?
What they did was they have a thing here in Washington State called JRA, Juvenile Rehabilitation Administration. When they send you up to these I'm gonna say juvenile penitentiary. They're like boys' camps, whatever. I would say they call it Maple Lane School, Green Hill School. So they try to make it seem like it's a private school for kids that have to be kept there by any means necessary or something. Like, it's an alternative school. You can get your high school education here at your own rate.
But you stay the night there and sleep there.
It's just there. It's just barbed wire, fences and stuff. It's a penitentiary.
Yeah. It's like a boys' school kind of.
And like
military school.
Military school.
Yeah.
Like so most of these used to be the minor security or minimum security camps for the old prison systems.
Yeah.
They didn't have them they didn't have the minimum security at the prisons. You would go to these camps, these work camps, right? That's what they used to do. And then state bought them and turned them into juvenile rehabilitation.
And that's where you went.
That's where I went. Now they told me, where I was going, they did a lot of investigation and a lot of things, the psychology reading and stuff before I went. The judge on my case was really enthralled in all of this. Wanting to learn about this, learn this and learn that, because I didn't know he was setting up to make an informed decision coming my way. Because he had a lot of political pressure coming down on him about this because of what happened. That he said that he was going to save me from myself. He was going to do me a favor, and I wasn't going to see it as such at the time. But this is what he was inclined to do. He said, listen, I know that your standard range is 15 to 36 weeks. That's 3 to 9 months. But then at 9 months, when you get out again, and you're 9 months behind the class, or however that may go, because when you get up there, since it's a drug charge, you're going to have to do 6 months of intensive treatment first. And I mean, you're in school. You have to make sure that you understand what drugs do to you and get you away from that stuff. And then we'll see if you can make it into school at the time. You're going to be behind. But he didn't know who I was or my IQ level or anything. He didn't put me that far behind if I didn't want it to be. He said, so what I'm going to do, and what he did was to make a lot of people happy. He said, I'm going to do what's called a manifest injustice. Where it's a power that's given to us as a juvenile detention judge. It comes down from the federal government, and I've already put in for it, and it's been approved, and there's nothing you can do now. You can't appeal it or anything. I'm going to give you the maximum I can give you with you being the age that you're at. Now, granted, I wanted you to be in there as a juvenile life being, because this is a very serious matter. But we can't do that. They said that is reserved for actual violent young felons, things of that nature, sex offenders, that nature. We didn't do any of that. But at the time, with things going on, and with the component of it being in the public school, and the amount that it was, I can't turn a blind eye to that. I hear your counselor saying this and other, that you're a good kid. You got a lot of people sending you letters and saying that you're a good kid. But the fact of the matter, good kid or not, you had a lot more dope than on you. Than I looked at the statistics than most adults coming in King County had. That's a scary thing. Do you know? Have you heard about what happened to? You said you're from the Central District of Seattle. You heard about when you called out a kid's name that just got killed 2 weeks before, some type of drug. And he called out a name, Aaron Roberts, and he called out these different names of people that were being killed while I was in the jail, or getting into bad things. He said these people didn't have a second chance. No one to save them. They were just tossed out to the wolves. I'm going to save your life, and you're not going to say this.
So he kept you?
He kept me.
For how long?
For 3 years.
3 years. 15 to 18?
15 to 18. You hear that at 15 years old, your life is over.
That's right. Everything.
Everything's done. That I said life sentence to me at 15. Yeah, I didn't hear
that's pretty much like all of high school.
All of high school, all of everything. My dad starts crying. They didn't know. Nobody told him this was coming. They didn't even understand what was being said in the courtroom until they heard it. And they did thinking about the math. And they say it in months.
Right.
In months. They didn't say it. And I'm doing the math too. And I looked at my dad, and my dad said, how long is that? I said, it's 3 years, Dad. I'm just anyway, so I'm 18 years old. My mom jumped up and said, please, Your Honor, don't do this to my baby. He said, this has already been done. It's already been signed on by Superior Court higher than me. He's giving me the authority to do so. And my dad said, Cassie, sit down. This is going to be for his betterment. This might save his life. And I never seen my dad cry before in my life, but that's when I seen him cry. And so I said, go for 3 years. At 6 years old, but there was a silver light. So there's a thing called a CRA score. If you're a good kid, and you know, and since I didn't come in with too much background and stuff, and they did my mental health assessments, and did my mental health assessment and stuff like that, found out that I was exceptional for my age. So they gave me 2 options. They said, we can try to get you out in a year. I said, how's that? You go to boys camp, you go to Mission Creek at the time, which was boot camp. I said, sign me up. They said it's not a guarantee because it wasn't put in by the court that you would go. When you do the paperwork, and when they call you, be ready. The call never came. My eyes got shuffled down.
So you never went?
Never went to boot camp.
You never had a chance?
Never even got a chance.
Got early, possibly.
Yeah. But since that happened, I had counselors up there that seen something in me. They said, you know, we need to bring that along. We're going to figure this out. So they got it where I only had to get 2 CRA scores. That wasn't supposed to move that at first. I was supposed to get 5 or 6 every 90 days. But they got approval from the state to only give me 2 if I did good. And if that 2 was good, I could go to the group home. Cool. I was like golden boy crier up in there, dudes fighting and stuff. I ain't got time for that. You know, I don't got time for that. But they put me in bad situations too, because they was like, okay, well, this can affect the CRA score. You need to tell us what happened. And that was dangerous to me. But I went to the storm. I got beat up within my first 2 weeks by a bigger dude. And because he found out that there was a group home already coming in to interview me, and I just got there, and he was jealous and beat me up. So that almost affected my CRA score, because the way that those situations are, it doesn't matter if you're aggressor or aggressee, they have to look at it like, marking.
Well, but did that work? Did you get out of there earlier?
They sent me to segregation for a second, and then the counsel said, just go in there, just do whatever they say, don't act out, I'll get you back out of there within a few days. Usually that place is crazy. They're banging all night, bang, going crazy and stuff. These are kids that don't even leave this area, maybe for years. And I'm in there with that. Bang. So I got a whole experience, but I listened to my counselor. Luckily, I had some counselors that cared about me. They seen something in me. Because sitting in group, they was like, you are an exceptional, very intelligent child. Very intelligent. I was very vocal in group. I got in trouble about that a lot too. Oh, you think you know so much and stuff like that. And so, because I get candy and stuff. They give candy participation.
Sugar.
Stuff like
You give me sugar
like
to
that.
Well, I mean...
But anyways, long story short, I weathered that.
Okay.
Weathered that. With a lot of things not letting me to make it through that. So now I get told I'm going to the group home. And I got given my date. I'm on top of the world at that time. You can't touch me if you want to. I'm floating on air. So what can I do now to pass my time where I can stay out my cell more and not have to deal with these knuckleheads? GED class. GED class is that evening on top of the regular stuff that we're going. Even though I'm in the treatment portion, which we don't go to school, since I've already completed my treatment and I'm in what's called the outgoing part, if I got out in GED, I could go to school at night. They take me across campus to go to school. So I don't have to stay with free time with these crazy guys that are trying to get me to mess up. So I did that. When I went there, it was in a math class that was double at the music room. There's keyboards, and music my thing. I seen the work. That was 8th grade work. I don't need to do this. I'll pass if I want to. So he said, they didn't care. You can do what you want. It's on you. Whatever you want to do, that's on you, not disrupting. So I was sitting there all the whole time making music, making beats and stuff. That's how I got my release, my escape. So when it came time for the coursework, they heard that I hadn't been doing the pre-studying or nothing. And so they said, well, we heard you didn't do no pre-testing, no studying or anything, and I don't think we can give you the test. I said, what are you trying to say, I'm stupid? Give me the test. If I fail, I fail. If I don't, I don't.
Because it's a pass or fail.
Yeah,
thing.
Give me the test. I passed.
Yeah.
Got my GED.
Great.
It was great. So now I go to the group home. At the same time, that was kind of a flip, because now I can work.
Because how old are you?
At 16.
You're 16.
I just now hit 16. Yeah, because all that time 15, fighting cases and stuff. I just turned 16, right? They're saying you're old enough to have a full-time job if you want, because you now got your GED. I didn't want to go back to school now. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go be a kid again, a normal kid, and take a second chance. Because now I wanted a second chance. I wanted a chance. And see these other kids going to school every day, coming back telling me about the girls and stuff and hanging out. Yeah. And I wanted that. I missed something.
Yeah, of course.
It was tuning for me. So we have to go back to the state again to get it approved that I can go back to high school with my GED. They said there was a battle. Because I was at Carson Group Home in Fife, the Fife School District, way out there. They said, okay, for one, he's missing so much curriculum that already supposed to have, like Washington State course and stuff.
Right.
I didn't do. You didn't have
that
because
there's a system already in place. The academic system.
You didn't have that requirement in Seattle Public School.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That I had to have that or anything. We learned that in high school. You know what I'm saying? Washington State history. Not before. He's like, you have to have that coming in. So, and the crazy thing, right? He has a G, and then they're like, he has his GED.
Right.
What are you talking about? He needs to go to school. They were like, and they explained the situation to him. He is a kid still. When he came into this, he was not even supposed to be having. He was still going to school. He's still finding himself. He's never got to enjoy the social life or rigor of that.
Yeah. Did you get into high school? Did they let you in?
They put me in the alternative class next door.
Right.
So it was a win-lose. I got to see the girls sometimes, because I got to school as their school was letting out, my school was going in.
I gotcha.
So that was I had a girlfriend for 15 minutes. I got to see her for 15 minutes, get some kisses, and go.
In passing.
In passing.
Well, Brian, tell me about after high school.
So
you're
after
18.
That, 18,
what
I get out.
Doing?
I'm now have been working at Jiffy Lube for about 2 years. I've got all this money stacked up.
And you're living where?
At that time so something happened at the group home. Oh, I had that girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she talked me into coming to try to see her when I shouldn't have. Not being stupid. So I got kicked out. I got sent back to the thing. I absconded and they didn't know where I was for a second. I just was at the park with her. I thought I could slip it and get away with it. I did it twice before and got away, and the third time I got caught. So this time I get sent to Woodinville, closer back to home, and this time they thought that was the best thing for me because I'm going to be going out soon, and my parents could come see me, and I can start building a life as a young adult and stuff. So they said, school's out of question for you now. You're going to work if you want. But good thing is, you can stack some money. They push me with that. I stack the money with that means. So I can start seeing it.
Okay.
You started seeing it. I'm buying the same kind of clothes I was buying when I was drug dealing now. Because I got money stacked. I got Jordans on and stuff like that. One of the best dressed kids in the place. You know what I'm saying? I excelled at that at Jiffy Lube. Now I'm a crew chief. Almost
so
on the fast track to become an assistant manager at 18. My 18th birthday was coming, and that's what I was getting out. I'm a summer baby, July 1st. I got out with $7,000, and we were supposed to go. Like my counselor dropped the ball on one thing though. He went on vacation because my birthday is right there, July 1st.
Yeah.
He went on vacation, and he promised he was going to come help me pick an apartment on the east side. We had a plan on the apartment because I was out there on the east side. I went to work in Kirkland, at the World Social Loop. I was going to get an apartment on the east side and get out to an apartment. I got out to my mom's house in South Seattle with a whole bunch of money.
$7 grand in your pocket.
$7 grand at 18.
At 18.
And my homeboys heard I got home, threw a party. I never went back to work or nothing.
Yeah, that was it.
So long story short, that's what happened. And it wasn't nothing like bad after that or bad so bad after that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I didn't keep trying to work here and there, or try to get a job here and there. Just saying, I just wanted to, now I'm an 18-year-old that just wants to slouch at home, not be bothered, play video games.
Well, are you at home with your parents?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
They're so happy to have me home. They didn't care what I did.
That's right. Just, you're here.
You're here.
You're
You're
alive.
safe.
You're here. Yeah. Well, so I'm curious. You know, you mentioned you're at a tiny home now.
Yeah.
When was the first time you became unhoused? Like, how did that
unhoused happened
ball happen?
So what happened was, my dad passed away. Finally. And I just like, well, that's about 10 years ago. 29 at the time, right? No, 28 at the time, right? I hadn't been living as a young man yet, and on my own yet. I didn't know how those skills yet.
Right.
In any kind of way yet.
Right.
I've been getting coddled now, you know what I'm saying? In a lot of ways. My parents just gave me whatever I wanted, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me use their car, all that type of stuff. I got a girl pregnant on the way. She had a baby. I said, I gotta make money again. I didn't know having a baby, how expensive it was. And I was not ready for that. But I got my dad telling me all these stories about you gotta be a man, Brian. You gotta be responsible. You gotta do this. You gotta do this. I don't know what you're gonna do, but you gotta do something fast because it's here.
Yeah.
It was the first child. I didn't prepare. We didn't prepare nothing. The baby came.
Boy or girl?
Girl. I knew I was gonna have a girl first. Now, mind you, so I have my daughter. I have money. Now I need money now. My parents are retired on Social Security. Fixed income, they can't help me as much as they thought they could. They moved my girlfriend into the house at least with the baby.
So you're all living there together?
Yeah, and my child in the bedroom. It was a newborn, driving us crazy. My girl looking at me like, bro, when are you gonna do? We can't live like this. We gotta get out of here and do something. What am I gonna do? We're gonna make money. I'm gonna make money fast and quick. And I'm a lot older and smarter now, and I'm not gonna fuck up like I did before, right? I didn't. I never went to the penitentiary. I never caught them. I never did. I skated by the way, you know, played it how I needed to play it, and was real safe about it. I never was trying to make anything more than what I needed at the time.
So you went back to what you knew?
What I knew, selling dope.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I got addiction at the time. It seems like that's what goes hand in hand. I don't know how it just happened. It just happened that fast. And oh yeah, I know how it happened because at the time everybody was listening to Mac Dre and we playing and stuff. My homeboy, I didn't know. Now they're older and stuff, and they've been out this whole time as teenagers. They had already got real strong addictions and stuff, doing hardcore drugs and stuff I didn't know about. I came out to a whole new world. When I went in, we did weed and drink, that's it. When I came out, they're popping ecstasy, snorting cocaine, all that, and that's what they did. That was cool. When I went in, that was not cool. As a young black man, you could beat up for that. When I came out, it was acceptable. So I got a cocaine addiction, a really bad powder cocaine addiction, a heavy one. I was snorting $300 to $500 a day at one time. We had a cocaine drop hit really hard in Seattle. I guess they made a big bust or something. So all the cocaine that I had was hard rock. And I didn't know at the time about addiction and how it works because it's an ugly monster. And when it needs it, it doesn't care how it's gonna get it. If it has it around, it can get just even an inkling of it. Someone blew a crack smoke cloud, I think, my way. And something happened. I was tingling and stuff, and I was like, and I started getting weird about me and stuff. And I noticed something wasn't right.
Yeah.
I noticed it for
Your
what it
body's
was.
dependent on it.
My body's like, there it is, there it is, there it is.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't know.
addiction.
And at the time, to make matters worse, my girlfriend, I found out at the time, not my baby mom anymore. I broke away from her for a little while. She wasn't with me while I was doing that. See, but I got her, put in an apartment. I paid for everything. I went, dropped money all the time. Bills paid, everything paid. She got her new little boyfriend. He was a bum. He didn't do nothing. That's fine. At least it makes you happy. And you're not mad at me. I'll pay whatever you need. Just leave me alone. Don't try to pick me up child support. Cool. That's what worked out. But my girl at the time was fast. A real fast one, because now I'm known as getting some money and this, that, and other. I didn't know at the time she was a crack smoking, addicted girl.
She was addicted.
I didn't know. You would never guess. She looked fine. You never guess like what the stereotype of what a crackhead is. You would never seen this on her. The way she carried herself, the way she dressed, never would have saw it. So one day she came out for me getting a good deal for me. I was sitting in my car now. I got a BMW, sitting on big rims and stuff, and handling business and stuff. I'm jonesing though, really bad. I got it really bad. I don't know why I'm having these mood swings. We going through it. My mind's going crazy. I didn't know. I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
It never even dawned on me that I had that bad of a cocaine addiction. She must have she had something happen in there that stressed her out or something. She came, got in the car. She pulled a pipe out, put a crack rock on, hit it, and blew it out. When she blew it out, she must have realized what she did. Because I'm not looking at her. But now, I don't care what you say. Once you say my neighborhood, a young male, hey, this is unacceptable. We don't do this. That's for older heads and stuff. We don't do that. We don't do that.
So you still had this idea of bad drugs.
Yeah, bad drug. You don't do that. You don't do that.
Right.
You don't do that. You don't do that. Because I had this idea of what a crackhead was.
That's right.
Not my girl.
Yeah, stigma,
My
right.
boo.
You're right.
Money ain't never came up short. I could trust her. The hell? She came always looking good, not looking all sloppy. Everything, fresh clothes on, you know what I'm saying? She took her time to do all this stuff all the time. She took care of me, made sure I was on top of mine all the time. So when she came out, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
She's like, and it must have dawned on her what she did when she blew the smoke out. And she said, baby, I gotta tell you something. I don't know why I just did this now, but yeah, I smoke. I've been smoking for years, since I was like 15.
Oh, wow.
No. I'm into now. No. God, no. The world's gonna end. I gotta leave her.
But at this time, you're doing cocaine.
At the time, I'm doing cocaine.
But you had that.
And she was doing it with me.
Right.
Because that's nothing to her.
Yeah.
And it never was a sign.
Yeah, interesting.
I never seen a pipe in a person, nothing,
Yeah.
anything. I'm not saying that. And so this is why I think where I felt that. So I seen that on her that it didn't do her bad.
So you said, let me try something? So what?
Eventually I was
That's
drunk
what-
one night and I couldn't take it no more. I said, give me that pipe, let me see. Because by the time I found out, at first I told her she could only do it in the bathroom away from me. But that's only gonna last so long because now I've already opened up the floodgates. I've already made it acceptable in our dynamic.
Yeah.
You understand? This is how it happens. And so now, eventually, I can't keep telling her to go like a dog into the bathroom. She never wanted to do that in the first place. She wanted to be comfortable. So I said, okay, socially acceptable. I know what you're doing. There's no point in hiding it. Just do this. Just leave me alone about it. I don't want to know. I don't want nothing to do with it. And she knew what I was going. She knew why my mood swings was happening and everything. And she knew it very well what it was. But she didn't tell me what it was. She just did, baby. I know why you're having headaches. I know why those things are happening. You're withdrawing really bad.
And no one had ever talked to you about like addiction or
No,
anything?
I didn't know nothing about that. When I went to the juvenile thing about drug treatment,
Yeah.
I went up there saying I smoke weed and I drink alcohol.
Yeah.
So, how many times we heard about hard addiction? They gave us an assignment where you could pick a drug to do an assignment on. One essay. I picked ecstasy, MDMA, because I heard some friends were doing it. That's it. I never heard nothing about real what addiction, how it works.
Yeah, I got you.
I never knew nothing about withdrawal before, anything. I didn't understand in any kind of way. But she was right. That's what was going on.
So, well, back to the initial question, when did you become unhoused? How did that
That came very quickly.
after the crack stuff?
After the crack stuff, my parents was going for that. Get out.
Yeah,
You can't come around.
And
with
where was your daughter?
Stealing from us.
Your
And
daughter?
stuff like that. Yeah.
She was where at this time?
My daughter now
With her mom somewhere?
was with her mom.
Gotcha.
But somehow something happened at her house where CPS got involved. So that went down even faster. I don't even know why that happened, but it happened. Whatever. So now I'm just like so depressed about that. My addiction got worse.
So then your
Worse.
parents kick you
My
out,
parents is just like, Brian,
and you go
look
where?
at what's going on. And this is your fault. Your life's falling apart. You're doing it to yourself again. We're not going to stand by again and be a part of it and help you do it to yourself. They told us if you ever get yourself, if we ever saw these signs again, we have to do what's going to need to be done. So they put me out. I was staying. I called him my Uncle Curtis. He's a friend of the family. My parents knew him well. He was druggy though. You know what I'm saying? They used to hang out. My dad's boy back in the day. I knew him. I came over there straight to his house. He's the only person I knew that had a place that would be socially acceptable to what I was doing at the time.
Right.
He welcomed it because I could give him stuff. He had a drug addiction too.
Come on in.
So my mom was like, so where are you staying? I called her one day. She's like, well, so what's going on? Are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm at Uncle Curtis's. She said, you where? I said, I ran to Uncle Curtis and took me home. Well, that might just be a good place for you, Brian. You just stay down over there. Bye. Whatever. So my dad passed away about half a year after that. He gave us a talk. I ran. I wasn't ready. I knew my dad's time was coming. I seen it like 2 years before about. Things started changing really rapidly. He couldn't mow the lawn no more. Like, he went out there and tried to do it stubbornly one day. Almost cut his leg off falling down the hill with the damn lawnmower. Things got rapidly different.
What you say? A talk? What do you mean?
The death talk, like, I mean, he knew.
Oh.
He signed a no resuscitation.
Like
clause.
saying goodbye? Like
Yeah, and trying to give me like this hurried type of spiel or speech about what a man is, Brian, one more time.
And you
what I want, hope for you.
you weren't
So I'm
ready
gone.
to
I
hear it.
wasn't ready to hear none of that.
Gotcha.
That pushed me way further than my
Oh.
addiction.
Oh, interesting.
I wanted to get out, do anything I could to numb that away,
Yes, sir.
to make me not think about it
That's
coming.
right. Too painful.
My cousins had to come find me 2 days before he passed. I never knew about the hospice thing.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that he was like basically brain dead at the time, and just like the body was in a natural takeover state.
Wow.
The body wouldn't go, the brain wouldn't go, but he wasn't there. I wasn't prepared for none of that. They found me. I guess my aunt, his sister, sent Calvary out. My cousin, my gangbanging cousin, came looking for me because they knew they could go any hood, any slum, anywhere, and find me. They weren't scared. The rest of the family wasn't going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
I tried to have some people stand up for me. They kicked the door in when they found out where I was, and they drugged me out of there.
To say what?
To say, your dad is about to die. You need to come now. We got told by any means necessary to take you to the house. They drugged me to the car. I was like, no. They picked me up to the car. My cousin pushed me so hard in the face, it just dazed me. And they drugged me to the car. And so they was on the way. And at the time, we still had liquor stores. The store was like, you need something to drink? That's all we're going to do for you. I'll buy you a bottle.
Right.
They bought me a bottle of liquor. told you they were sorry for what they had to do, but they were told strict instructions by the family. No matter what you have to do, you bring him home now. That wasn't given by my mom or nothing. She didn't know nothing about that. That was given by my dad's sister, my aunt.
Just the family.
Yeah.
And so
I got there, and what I saw took me aback, really far back. And that's when everything changed. Okay, so when I seen him in that state where his eyes weren't there, they rolled back, and every so often his body was just frightened. He was there, and then all of a sudden his eyes came too when he heard my voice. They said that wasn't supposed to happen. No one believed me. My mom said, and she's like, Bob, 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 and he went back. I was like, did we just really see that? She's like, that's the first time he's been cold-haired in about a week, right? He's been waiting for you. And so they left me in there by myself to talk to him. And when I talked to him, I didn't know what to say. I told him I'm sorry I wasn't there all the time like I should have been. I'm sorry I was supposed to run his son. I told him, I promise I'm not going to run no more. I'll be there for my officer. That's where I can. But you can just go ahead and go. And then he was my rock. He was my everything. I didn't have him no more to talk to when I'm going through what I'm going through in the streets and the drugs and everything. He was a person that made me feel like if he didn't understand what I was going through, he could tell it to a way that it helped me understand it and I could better deal with it. When that was taken from me, I was lost. And I was deep in my drug addiction at the time, and I just wanted to kill myself, basically. That's what my family was scared of the most. I was going to try to kill myself in some kind of way. I wasn't going to like kill myself off myself, but I didn't want to live. My will to live was gone. But mom started getting a hold of me, saying she needs me. My mom hadn't been saying she needed me in years.
she was by herself in the house, by herself alone.
By herself in the house.
Yeah.
I didn't know at the time that my dad had already signed papers to foreclose the house and everything because of how much the medical bills were costing and everything. My dad told me the Crown Vic was mine. He had bought a car from my mom. He had bought a car. No, he didn't buy it from my mom. He bought a car before he passed. He said, I'm going to give this to you, something I can give to you. He didn't know what was coming down the pike. And my mom had to give up her Lexus that was still on the monthly payments and stuff because she couldn't afford it. Now that he's passed, his pension was gone.
Oh, wow.
So she still got part of his Social Security, but not all of it anymore. So she couldn't afford that Lexus payment and stuff. So I had to give her my car that he left for me. And that was it. The house is gone. She now moved out to Federal Way to a shag retirement home. And now at the time, with the CPS thing happening, for my daughter to be around to see me, my mom had to take her for a while. For her to be in the family. No, the other family took her for some reason. They didn't have the time or the ability. So I couldn't be at my mom's house. That was a requirement of CPS.
Like when your daughter was there?
When she was there, staying there.
You couldn't see your daughter?
I could come see her. I couldn't reside.
Like, stay the night, live there. Gotcha.
That's how CPS works.
Well, how old was your daughter at this time?
2.
Yeah.
At the time. A toddler. My mom was taking care of a toddler. Doing the best she could.
Yeah.
She leaned a lot on the CPS to help regarding the items and stuff like that, the daycare and stuff like that. But she moved all the way out to Federal Way. I don't know nobody out there to stay with or anything, and that was a long commute.
That's far.
At the time,
you don't have a car.
At the time, we didn't have Rapid Ride or the light rail or nothing. I don't have a car. But I need to go out there and see my baby when I can, this and the other. But at the time, I was so messed up from what just happened. All I knew was my baby was okay, and that was okay with me.
Right. And you're in your addiction still.
Yeah.
Your dad just died.
My dad just died.
Just.
So I'm stuck in the streets now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just got bad. Well, it's much faster from there. My Uncle Curtis passed away. I lost that place. It burnt down. No, it actually caught fire about 2 months before he passed away anyways. So he got put in an old folks home by his daughter.
So you have no fallbacks anywhere
I have no fallback, nowhere to go. I'm in the streets.
Gotcha. And how long ago? Well, I guess the question is, what was the period of time you're in the streets?
That was about, when I was really out like that, like out nowhere to go, no option. Because I can't go back home to my parents, because that's a no option. Mm-hmm. No matter what. I thought that was so messed up too. No matter what I tried to show, I went to work, I had to drive for a quick little second, I tried to do a Band-Aid effect, they said it didn't matter, whatever, you can't go back there and take your baby. But it is, what can I do? They didn't give me housing, CPS didn't help get me out the streets. They didn't even care about that at all, that wasn't even a question of what's going on in your life.
Right, of course not. Yeah.
So what can we do to help you be okay for your daughter?
Nobody asked you that.
Nobody. Not once.
Yeah.
Not once. Finally, I found this thing called Genesis House. It was the only one of its kind in the region. It's not there no more. It's sad. It's the only one of its kind that was an in-house, long-term inpatient treatment that had a family component where parents could get their kids, and fathers could also be allowed to be a part of the family component and have their kids. It was the only one of its kind. I don't think they still have one to this day that does that. So I went there. And leading up to the family part, you don't get your kid immediately. They gotta figure out, be ready for that. You gotta go through getting your addiction dealt with, and it's a process. But there was girls there that had their kids, they're further up. And since I'm in the family component of it,
fathers and mothers.
Yeah, I worked with them. My classes with them and stuff like that. You know, I don't have my daughter yet, but the plan was going to be I was going to be giving my daughter.
Right.
To reside with me.
The goal, right?
The goal. My baby's mom, she had lost and went off the deep end. She didn't even try to fight. So
wow.
I don't know, whatever. That's whatever. So. Thank God for this program, right? So everybody's giving me all these shiny accolades now. Brian's doing so well, we're so happy. The CPS judge so proud of me.
And you have receiving treatment?
Receiving treatment.
And like becoming clean?
And what was good about that place is once you're done, after a year, it became transitional housing. You can stay for up to a year with your child and work.
Oh, wow.
And stuff. Everything, found a program that could save my life, right? So, I got really close with the women in there and their kids. I was the only father in the program at the time. So I became the resident father figure of these kids and stuff like that. And I took to it, of course, I really became tight and close and started caring about these kids and loving them as if they were my own kids and stuff. Because, you know, during the day, we go through the same thing that you guys go through with your kids at home, like getting them ready for school. The madhouse of a bunch of kids and stuff, a bunch of kids at one time. You know what I'm saying? Big old cafeteria. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get them ready. I'm the only father. So a lot of kids would only listen to me. I don't want to listen to you. Brian. I don't know. Brian. I never had a father figure or nothing. And I didn't know what his father figure was to be stern or say, no, listen to your mother or something like that. I just, okay, I'm thinking I'm helping.
Right.
Whatever. It was a good thing, though. It was a good thing. I was learning. But I really became close with the mothers, too. Tight. Sure. Like my sisters and stuff like that. Yeah. Really tight. Cared about it. Some of them might cared about me a little bit more than they should have. That's neither here nor there. What happened was, one of the residents that weren't in the family component one day came down during a time where we were trying to get the kids ready for school. He's not supposed to be down there yet. They ain't after us. He came cutting in line, very belligerently, started grabbing food. Now you got a bunch of mothers that are stressed out. And these mothers ain't your normal mothers that didn't, hey! What the are you doing? I got my kids trying to get out. You need to get out of the way. What are you doing? And he's like, really kind of like close guard the kids, big dude, right? And I guess this dude kind of like had, I don't know if he had a hang up with women or something, but I guess he had some problems with some girls there before me getting there or something. So they already kind of was at a standpoint of seeing him and like, get away. I seen this and I'm there. I was raised a man, takes care and protects. When I heard him turn around and say, bitch, I don't give a fuck about you and these kids. Excuse my language. Bitch, shut up. I'll give you food. I'm tired of this shit anyways. I'm tired of this motherfucking place. Bitch, don't talk to me. I do what I fuck up. I had to get up and say something. My dad would have rolled up in the grave right there to get up and say something. I had to. I had to. There was nothing else, no other way I could go about it. The staff that are supposed to be care team staff, because in the morning there's not the administrative staff or nothing. There's people that just
different staff or something.
The staff that just help you, like, can I get some toothbrush? Can I get this and that? These staff were young people that just wanted to sit in the booth and hang out and flirt. They have the booth closed. They don't hear what's going on in the cafeteria. That was left to our time as the family component. Govern ourselves in there.
So you had out with this guy or what?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I jumped up. Hey, man, don't you say it again, man. We're gonna have a problem, bro. He's like, oh, so which one of these bitches you fucking? This stuff. Dude, I'm trying to do the right thing here. I'm asking you to stop talking like that in front of these kids. Stop bunking these kids like this, man. Just do the right thing. Go do some treatment work about it or something. If you have a problem with something, go back upstairs so we can get these kids to school. Bitch, nigga, fuck you, you push me. So I get up to fight. I falls over a chair, right? I get up to fight. Now, mind you, these girls love me now. They jump in front of me, touch him.
And there's kids.
Yeah, don't touch him, don't touch him. I'm like, stop, you guys don't stop. They're throwing chairs at him. They're going off. Telling me, no, bro, I know. You know, they're about to get themselves kicked out. So I gets around. Finally, staff comes. Nothing transpires, right? I got assaulted. Nothing transpires. Y'all gonna calm down. That was a Friday. Monday comes around. I get called to the administration office. Thinking, okay, I know what this is. Let's go. Yeah, I'm bury this dude. He's out of line. They ain't gonna do nothing to me. I did the right thing. And then over the weekend, all the girls told me, yeah, when they talked to me, I told them all the same thing. You were not in the wrong. All you did was stand up for us and protected us. I'm golden. This is gonna look good for me.
But
when we got there, they said, Brian, you remember when you first came in and we told you about the hands-off policy? Yeah, I kind of remember. Yeah, I told you that wasn't gonna be a problem for me. I'm here for my child. Great. You got to hear that. Let me tell you, remember I told you that no matter what, if you're the aggressee or the aggressor, there will be the consequences. For the person that the aggressee, if they didn't do anything, we would be too severe, and we could figure something out. But there would be other arrangements made. But you would be asked to leave the program immediately until we figure out what those other arrangements are going to be. Leave? Leave? Why? Would I leave? Do you know what you're sending me out to? I can't go home. Can't go back to my mom's house. That's a no-go thing. Where the hell am I supposed to go? Where do I go? I don't know nobody but drug addicts. Don't do this to me, please. You don't know what you're doing. You're killing me right now. You're gonna kill my life off right now. Please, I'm begging. I'm on my knees begging this lady not to do this. She said her hands are tied. And you know why? Because my counselor at the time had a vendetta against me. Because he thought I was a know-it-all. Because I've been to now drug treatment 8 times over the years. I knew a lot of that coursework like the back of my hand. Like DBT skills, this, like, another. Whatever the training they had, he was taught wrong. He was teaching it wrong. I had called him on it. We got into an altercation about it. It became a big old thing. So he said, you need to learn that when we're teaching. You don't say nothing, you just listen. I'm trying to help you. You went back and looked at it and found out the work that I was right.
So he had a chip.
He had a chip on his shoulder. And so he went and told her, yeah, I seen this coming. He's combative. He's this and other. He doesn't want to be here. Only thing he's here for is to get his daughter. He's not here for treatment. That's what I think. So, no, I don't have no problem with prison.
So you were back on the streets.
Yep. And when I went to the family planning meeting, it was a whole different courtroom that time. Instead of the accolades and this and the other, it was shut up, don't say nothing, you had your chance. I don't want to, hold on. I was trying to speak. Because CPS cut, they jumped on me. We're not surprised that this happened with his record. I don't have no assault. With his record and his criminal record and this and other, drug addictions and this and other, we're not surprised this happened. We told you it was a bad idea to try to give him a child. So at this time, our standpoint is we need to move for a new program, a new thing. And we just found out that Mrs. Simmons now has found out from her doctor she's showing early stages of preset on dementia.
And that's your mom?
Yeah. Signs. Not diagnosed, but signs. So we want to remove the child from home.
Gotcha. Because your daughter's out with your mom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if an elderly lady has dementia, you can't leave a child.
Right. And so they take your daughter to
foster care.
Oh wow.
And before just like a day or so, a day or two. And so I guess now the family scrambled to figure out who's going to take the baby, this and the other. So my cousin had this couple in her church that had been looking to have a child, but the lady couldn't bear children. I guess they're a wonderful couple. My cousin really worked with them and stuff. Knew them very well. My auntie knew them, had been out to dinner with them and been to church with them a few times. So they came over to my mom's house and said, Kathy, these people would be great for her. And I'm sorry what happened with Brian, but this is where we're at. People have to figure it out. But that's what happened. We never thought this was going. We never thought he'd get the baby in the first place. Honestly, we were so surprised. We were so surprised with what God put in front of you. So these people will take her, and what they're telling you is they will make it an open adoption, where you can have all equal access to the baby as a grandmother. They will have you and welcome them into your home and say, Kathy, I know these people, they are not the type of people to lie about that. They will have you over, you will get to know where she's going to be before she even enters that house. You know, get to know them as a people. Okay, I guess that's something that's good because nobody else had to, it's the way the cards dealt, nobody had the ability to take her at the time.
Yeah, so your options were like limited.
And we've been stressed out this long now.
And this looked like a reasonable option.
Adoption is the way we're going now because it's been stressed out so long.
And so that happened?
That's what happened.
And so your daughter went
with
the
what
couple.
Happened, it's told to me, I was not told to me at the moment because I didn't want to hear it, that when I got told, here, you need to sign this paper and sign your rights away.
You sign your parental rights away.
Guys, I don't want to do this. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't do nothing wrong. I fought for my daughter. I tried the best I could, and I got, you know. So this whole circus to fuck you guys yourselves. I went off. I lost it. If I knew what I knew at the time now, I wouldn't have handled it that way. I swear to God, I would. Being a man now, knowing my later ages and stuff, it's not about what people think or what they think they know at the end of the day. It's about what you know what's going on and what's capable of doing yourself. You know, if you know that you have something going on in your life or whatnot, they didn't make that go on in your life. They didn't make that arena for you. You made it yourself. When I was doing my drugging and drinking and stuff like that, I waited till so long to come along and say, okay, I'll change now. You know, because my baby's getting in danger of getting taken away.
Right.
So, because now they're saying this has been too long. It never was a permanent situation with my daughter to be my mother. They're not stepping up. She's not going. No, wait, no. And they gave me a chance because I felt something that was blessing me like God, you know. And I don't know, it just happened the way it happened. To this day, it can't happen no better. I have no ill will because I didn't know what was coming in the store. There are some good people.
Yeah.
I know them.
Oh, you still are in relationship with them?
I have a relationship.
How old's your daughter now?
She's 13.
And you still have a relationship with
I
her?
have a relationship with her through my mother. My mother was the gateway. They told, so when it happened, when the day that we all met and met for the first time, the father took me out to the side and said, listen, I will never keep one man away from his child as long as that man is not a danger or anything to my new family.
Yeah.
Your mother has told me everything that went on, the whole thing, and I got a well more rounded view of what happened here. You got taken. It wasn't right what got done to you, and I'm sorry.
Wow.
So, your mother says you're still having some struggles now. It's understandable. It's amazing what happened. It's just wrong. People are wrong for what they did to me, and I'm sorry. It made me feel so much better to tell me this. He said, listen, when your mother says that you're ready, we'll get you back in the life. We'll introduce you. And so we'll never, and my mom said, Brian, they promise they're not going to not talk about you. She's going to know who you are. I will make sure she knows who you are. And she did. And so then I'm now homeless now and stuff because now that happened and whatever. I could go back to my mom's house if it just feel right. I would do that. And so I now got a significant other, and thank God to her and her family. Things started kind of changing. But so now I'm homeless with the drug addiction and stuff. But it wasn't. I'm not trying to downplay it or anything like that. But it just started getting better. It had to. It was like either sink or fall, die or don't.
Yeah.
So that's when I found the REACH program. And the REACH program helped me because, okay, so an uncle owned the tow yard, right?
Is this your significant other?
Yes. And the family finally, I told her it was coming too. I said, look, I've been where you're at. You stop being so open about your drug addiction with them. They're going to turn on you eventually. And they did. They got fed up. Always coming to them for money, this, for that. That's all you care about. You can't do it no more.
Yeah.
And at the time, she was staying with her aunts and stuff, and she would come out and just run the streets with me sometimes, you know. And I kept telling her, like, trying to coerce her and tell her how to play, that you won't get kicked out. She didn't listen. But she got kicked out, so now she's my responsibility.
Where's she? Is she here?
No, she's not here. She just signed a new lease to her new place. Because we were at the Aloha.
Oh, that's right. You
shelter.
said you were at
the emergency shelter.
Yeah,
how we got there was REACH. Okay, so we got. Her uncle gave us a camper trailer for the tow yard. He owns a tow company. Gotcha. He said that's the best I can do.
Yeah.
You guys have a place. We was in that for 2 years on the streets. That was amazing at the time because at the time that was when the boom, the RV boom really started happening in Seattle, and they were taking them. So God bless us, we didn't lose ours. And we was right there in Northgate off 113th in Millville for 2 years. Finally, I found out about the LEAD program. It was called LEAD at the time. And what that was a component for the police to find people, because they were the soldiers on the front lines, supposedly. They could find people and help them, get them into a place where they don't keep going to jail and get them some help, right? Well, what we found out real fast, the police were playing favoritism. They were using it to turn snitches, things like that. They didn't really care about trying to help people and stuff. When you went to them and asked them, could you put me in the program? They wrote your name in a little notepad, put it away.
That's it.
Never heard nothing. So, and REACH REACH at the time, who was their parent program, was realizing we're not getting the influx of people at all.
Right.
And now we're hearing that people would go to these officers all the time begging to put me in this program we heard about. That's supposed to be this program that's going to help save us, and the suicide program. Where's the program? So they took the SPD component out of it. Once they took that out, that's when I was able to get into the program.
Once the police were not a barrier for you.
Yes, and I met a counselor that came just looking for trailers and camps and stuff, and I got to tell them my story and sat down and had a long conversation, kind of like this, and I told them, they said, wow. And so at first, it was kind of like they were, so at first it was a dragon-free thing because they had so much influx now of people now that they were finding and stuff, and technically we were housed in them because we had a trailer.
Yeah.
So, but then one night there was some gunshots outside of my trailer. And I guess it was in the newspaper or something that happened, or on the news, because I found the news story from Cairo that touched on it, shooting. And so I said, listen, this was 20 feet away from my trailer. 20 feet away from my trailer, this shooting. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I found a bullet hole in my trailer in the back of it.
Yeah.
That we didn't even know. We were sleeping.
Yeah.
I showed them that. They instantly put us on the program. Within a week, we were moving out of the trailer into a place. Into the emergency shelter called the Aloha Inn on the bottom of Aurora, East Queen Anne area. When we got in there, they told us we were going to be here for the longest 90 days. This is during COVID. It just hit. COVID just had hit.
90 days turned into a longer period of time. Yeah.
They had funding, but they have nowhere to put people because they now got people coming in. We gotta get people off the streets. We gotta get them off the streets. Gotta get them off the streets. Can't have people out no more. We gotta get them somewhere. You have to get them out of the house. Now it's a health crisis. Not. So the main thing, that's why you had all these pop-up things. You had like places like the extended stay getting bought out and turned into a shelter. You got places like the Way West Hotel. No. The one off of 45th Hotel. I forget the name of it. The Wallingford Inn got bought out. All these influx of hotels were being bought out. They gave them back. People don't know why they don't understand why there's no housing right now. The city gave it back. Once they didn't need all that no more, because now it's got healthcare crisis.
It's everyone back on the street. I got two questions for you, Brian. One is, what would you want the people of Seattle to know?
That people out here don't think that we necessarily choose to be out here all the time. Yeah, we might be in an addiction or anything like that. But at the same time, don't think, well, why can't they just get some help? Why can't they just do something for themselves? Why can't they just do this or do that? Sometimes it just is what it is. There's no way out of it sometimes. It really can happen that way. And you may not believe that, but it really can happen that way. If not, someone don't give you a leg up, it's not going to happen. That's my circumstance. If someone don't give me a leg up, I don't know where to go. If someone don't give me a leg up, I'm not going to have nowhere to go until I die out here. And there's people dying left and right out here right now. The only hard drug out here is one of the most dangerous drugs out here we've ever seen, is the fentanyl craze. And everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it.
How many people have you seen or know that have died from fentanyl?
$13 people so far. Close people. I know close people. Very close. And the crazy part about it is, 80% of those people didn't even do fentanyl. They don't do that drug. They just came across it on accident or something.
Question number two. Actually, I have another question. Number two. What are your hopes and dreams, Brian?
Well, my hopes and dreams now that things are starting to seem better for me. I have a vehicle. I have an apartment. And stuff I just signed a lease for, got my keys and stuff. things are getting better. My hopes and dreams is I'm gonna get a good, stable job. And now I live 8 blocks away from my mom. She moved from Federal Way. She stays up here in North Seattle.
Nice.
I want to be able to take her out to like a nice restaurant on me, safely in the car with my license and insured, and take her out and say, look, I know that I put you through a lot, and I know it's touch and go for so long there, but I got you now. I can stand up for you now, be a son for you now that you need me to be in your old age and in your older years. You don't need it. I'm thankful for Garth, and I'm thankful for my daughter's foster family for being there at the time when she needed a family.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be there too now. I'm a part of it now. And my hopes and dreams are I can go on a trip somewhere overseas with my daughter. Like they go over a year, every year. She's been to Africa. She's been to Tokyo. Yeah. So that's what I want to do. I've already told you that. They said we'll try to look at it for next year. Because I can get a passport now. It's been over 7 years since I've had a passport.
Great.
I can leave the country.
Great.
Do things I've never thought I could do before. That's my hope.
Brian, man, thank you for sharing your story.
Sorry it was a long one.
Man, don't be sorry. It's the way it is. And it's good to hear your voice, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. All the best to you.
Yeah,
man. Hey, hang in there.